Hello, and welcome to the Get Lean and Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. I'm a certified health coach, trainer, and author. And this podcast is for middle-aged men and women looking to optimize their health and get their bodies back to what it once was 10 to 15 years ago. I will give you simple, actionable items to get long-term sustainable results. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. All right, welcome to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin, and I have the founders of Bala Enzyme on the podcast, Farnoosh and Arash. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting us, Brian. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. And I actually got to know both of them through Brad Kearns and a good friend of mine who also has a great podcast called Be Rad, and learned about their drink, Bala. Is it just Bala or is it Bala Enzyme?
Bala comes from balance. It's a way to balance your life. The first four words of balance. We looked through many names to pick the name and trademark it, and we finally locked on balance. Bala coming from balance. It was not easy to pick a name for our brand.
Yeah. And what made you want to start this? It's actually a powder turning into a drink. I know, obviously, I'm sure I have a buddy who's in the drink business, and definitely an uphill battle. It's very competitive. But what made you want to get into this industry?
Sure. First of all, I'm Arash Aftabi. I'm a periodontist or gum surgeon. I practice in Southern California for 20 years. I graduated from Boston University, and I was doing research at Boston University during my residency, working on plant-based enzymes and helping our patients recovering from swelling and inflammation they were suffering after oral surgery or any dental procedures. Patients were tired of taking pharmaceuticals. They were getting away from taking pharmaceuticals, and they were not happy taking narcotics because they had addiction problem and many issues in our society. And then we were looking for alternative natural way for them to recover from inflammation and swelling they were suffering from dental surgeries. And we were working on an enzyme called bromelain coming from the core of a pineapple. Many people, when they cut the pineapple, they throw the core away. They think it's not good, but that core is full of an enzyme called bromelain. It's concentrated, full of enzyme, and that enzyme provides anti-inflammation. It helps you recover from swelling, inflammation, black and blue, any bruising. And we were using those enzymes, and we realized that significantly people can decrease inflammation after any surgeries using the bromelain enzymes coming from pineapple. After I graduated, I introduced those enzymes to my practice. I did prescribing bromelain and later on papain, which is an enzyme coming from papaya, to patients to recover from black and blue and swelling and inflammation they were having after dental extraction, implants, and sinus leaf. And we realized that a lot of patients were reporting back to us that they feel a lot better, but their overall wellness was improving. Their joints and muscle were feeling a lot better. They will recover a lot faster if they were exercising, running, or jogging. And from the research, we brought the enzymes to our clinic. And from the clinic, the patients were motivation for us to bring it to market because they were just telling us, if I feel a lot better with my body, my vitality is improved, I have more energy, less aches and pain, my arthritis symptoms are going away. So we decided to bring this plant-based enzymes to the market because it provides a solution to many problems that people have, which is they have aches and pain, but they don't want to take pharmaceutical, they don't want to take chemical, they want to naturally recover from the aches and pain and swelling that they suffer, and they're looking for a natural way, and they don't want to rely on all the Tylenol, Ibuprofen, or this case CBD is very popular these days. A lot of people don't want to take CBD either. My wife also is a dentist and a doctor of specialist of endodontist. She can also tell a story yourself.
Hi, thank you for having us on your podcast. My name is Farnoosh Fadavi. I'm an endodontist, graduated from undergrad Harvard in Boston, and Boston University and Tufts University. And I'm specializing in root canal. And I had actually an accident in 2018, which cut my career short, and I could not practice anymore. I broke my shoulder and my hip very severely, and I was diagnosed with severe onset of osteoporosis. which I get treated right now for, which it has a lot of side effects such as joint pain, muscle pain, aches, and I cannot tolerate any pharmaceutical drugs. So at the time when we were putting Bala together, Bala was a life changer for me because I cannot take pharmaceutical, and I really rely on Bala to have be able to do all my daily activity actually with taking Bala. So since it's helping me a lot, we really want to bring that to market and have other people can enjoy it and get the benefit of Bala as a plant-based anti-inflammatory. So this is our Bala. I always live with it
Yeah.
all day long, and is an amazing product.
Yeah, so we mostly are patient, and what happened to Farnoosh was, we've had this, back of our mind to bring for this formulation that we put together and using enzymes. But once Farnoosh fell, and that was just, Bala was really life changer for her, and really, she couldn't take pharmaceutical because all the side effects she was suffering from. So it was a motivation for us to really get this brand out there. We don't want to take this formulation to our graves. We said we need to get this brand. Our patients said, you got to get this out. We really, we feel a lot better taking these plant-based enzymes. And we hired a biochemist. We worked with him for 2 years, going over the different batches of samples, trying to put a nice flavor on it, make sure there's a potency and efficacy of the formulation.
And good taste.
And the good taste, and make sure people can, because no matter how many health benefit you provide, if it doesn't taste good, then people will not try it. So we were able to put a great flavor on the formulation using amino acid instead of sugar. A lot of products use sugar to get the ingredients get resorbed to your small intestine. Instead of sugar, we use a specific amino acid at specific dose that acts like a sugar and make sure you get resorption of these enzymes through your small intestine and not having all the side effect that sugar has, because sugar has no health benefit and it just shocks your system, and it's a cheap ingredient. A lot of other products use sugar, but it does you no good. And it's in the case of turmeric, because our formulation does have turmeric, curcumin, we're not using a black pepper. Again, amino acid will make you resorb the curcumin or the turmeric, which is more efficient than using a black pepper. The three active ingredients are coming from, as I said, turmeric, curcumin, which is the active ingredient of turmeric. The second one is bromelain coming from the core of a pineapple. And the third one is papain enzyme coming from the fruit papaya. So three fruit enzymes along with amino acid and electrolytes, which provides hydration, provides something that is revolutionary and superior to what's out there currently on the market.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your story. And it's interesting regarding this drink, because a lot of times people bring drinks to market and they don't use it in practice before they actually bring it to market. They just probably do some research and find out what would work best for individuals to try to solve a problem. And you guys were solving a problem, at least you, Arash, with your patients using the individual products or the individual ingredients first. Is that correct? And then decided to put them synergistically together.
Brian, I monitored my patient for over 2 years, and monitoring and observing the gingivitis, which is the inflammation of gum disease. And I realized that there's a significant decrease in inflammation, gum disease, that they were suffering using the ingredients and Bala ingredients. So from there, after collecting enough clinical data, we said, okay, we have enough proof. We've done our homework. Let's put a formulation. Let's fine tune it, and let's get the brand out there and get it into people's hands.
Yeah, and I'm just curious, as far as the turmeric and the bromelain and if I'm saying it right, and the papine.
Good.
Where do you source your products from?
There's 20 different ingredients in a Bala formulation. The sources are internationally, globally. Like turmeric, comes from India. The bromelain pineapple comes from Thailand. We don't have enough raw natural resources in the US to do everything. So everything comes, from all over the world. Is being manufactured in US, is being processed, and all the raw materials that comes here, they have a certification of analysis. Make sure that they've done metal analysis and microbiological analysis is safe. The ingredient source are all identified, and make sure it's when it comes here in US, everything has been screened. It comes here, we blend it here, we powder it, and powders are checked and screened, and then we blend it, we co-pack it here, and it's made and manufactured in USA. Excellent.
And I have if you're watching on YouTube, I have it right here. There's 3 different flavors, and I've tried them all. They were great. It's nice. They come in these little packets that you can easily tearing off. And I will say they do stain.
Yeah, turmeric. It's anything good in life, as we say, stains. Coffee, tea, carrot juice, beet juice. That's the nature of turmeric, but it's a miracle ingredient. It has a lot of health benefits, and you just have to be careful with the turmeric so it doesn't get on your clothes. The reason is in the powder because enzymes, when it's in the liquid for too long, it loses efficacy. So you cannot put it in a beverage shape, or you cannot have it in water sitting for hours and hours. So once the enzyme goes in the liquid, after 2-3 hours, it loses its efficacy. So you need to drink it within the 2-3 hours in order for you to get the health benefit that enzymes offer.
And obviously, I mean, who would you say your target audience? What would you say your ideal customer is?
Yeah, originally we were going after athlete and active people who are looking to best product out there for recovery. We're going after runners or cyclists who are running and cycling, trying to recover faster so they can go back to the race. But we realized that there's a lot of people who are just regular people from all walks of life, like construction workers, hairstylists, cashiers in supermarkets, and nurses and firemen. And we're using our product because they were on their feet all day long, and they were aching from aches and pain from their feet and back and joint. And they were reporting back to us that they feel a lot better taking Bala. So we realized, not only athletes are buying this product, are connecting with us. A lot of regular people from all walk of life benefit and resonate with this brand because they really have a lot of aches and pain standing on their feet all day long, and there's not any alternative for them to take. And again, some people like my wife, they suffer from taking Ibuprofen and Tylenol because if you do take Ibuprofen and Tylenol for too long, it will damage your organ. If you look at the bottle, it says that if you take Tylenol for too long, it damages your kidney or liver, or the Ibuprofen would damage your stomach. So you don't want to be on this pharmaceutical for too long. If you take these for a long period of time, you definitely have the consequences.
So people with injury, without injury, doing exercise, not doing exercise, I believe everybody can benefit from our product.
Even a lot of parents come to us and say, I want to give it to my kids because she doesn't or he doesn't drink enough water. Then they need electrolytes. And we tell them, yeah, it's a great way to replenish your hydration. It has electrolytes. And also the plant-based enzymes, it helps them, get over, exercising and all that. So we were looking at in the beginning, 35 to 55 active people or active, and now we realize that there's a broader audience out there that will resonate with the brand and they can benefit from taking Bala.
Yeah, and a lot of my customers or clients are golfers, and they're just popping Advil every other day. So this would be a good alternative for them if they want to go the natural route.
Definitely. Our first investor, who is also a golfer, he was golfing, and golfing looks easy, but a lot of golfers suffer from a lot of injuries and a lot of pain. It's a very technical sport, and it takes a toll on your body because it's very physical. A lot of them have shoulder problem, rotator cuff. They have a back problem. If you look at Tiger Woods, he's a mess. He has multiple surgeries. He's just multiple procedure. So golfers, they take it. It takes a toll on the body doing all the swing and movement. And our first investor was a golfer. He took the brand. He fell in love with the brand. Him and his wife. His wife was a dancer, but he golfers every day. So they said, we believe in this brand. We want to put the money behind it and partner with you on this journey. So that's what a lot of golfers resonate with this brand because they do suffer from a lot of joint pain.
Yeah, I mean, because the average golfer is sitting all day, and then they go and play, and they expect to not be aching and have aches and pains after they play because they think they can they're bulletproof. But as you get older, it's not. It takes a toll. Like you mentioned, it takes a toll on your body. So this would be a great alternative just to drink. And I'm curious too, and I love the fact that you have potassium, sodium. I think a lot of people lack that. Especially just athletes from day to day, from sweating. And then you have a proprietary blend. Now I'm curious, the proprietary blend, is that an even amount of each ingredient that's in there? Or is that, I've always been taught with proprietary blends, when companies say that, obviously they could put whatever they sort of percentage, the amount they want in it. Is it, I see the bromelain and the turmeric. Is there, what is the percentage of all those in there?
Yeah, it's a percentage that we put. That's why we have a patent on the formulation, that you have to put a specific amount and specific dose. And also, like a curcumin that we have is water soluble, is dispersed in the water. If you put turmeric, it doesn't completely dissolve because turmeric by its nature doesn't dissolve in water unless you heat it. So we use a specific curcumin or turmeric that it will dissolve. So every ingredient is just specific to this formulation it has a potency and its efficacy. And if you do too much, it will have some side effect. If you do too little, they will have no health benefit. So that's where the patent comes in, that we make sure we protect it, and it's scientifically being researched. And there's an extensive body of literature and research, behind these ingredients. It's not something that we decide to put together. If you go back and Google any of these ingredients, you see there's a huge amount of literature supporting the health benefits.
Even for gut health.
Even for gut health, papaya been used for thousands of years in South America and Asia for gut health, for pain control, arthritis pain. These are amazing plant-based enzymes that people have been using it for thousands of years. But like turmeric is relatively new in U.S. market. Bromelain, a lot of people take pineapple, but they don't know how much benefit it has. And papain coming from papaya, it's something really unique, and people need to learn more about it.
Excellent. Well, is there anyone that shouldn't take your product?
The majority of people can benefit from Bala. There's no issue, no side effects. If you take a blood thinner, heavy blood thinner, for a long period of time, like if you had a Coumadin or heparin, it's a strong blood thinner for a long period of time, you may want to consult with your physician before you take enzymes, because enzymes do make the blood thinner a little bit. It can cause blood thinning. So you don't want to double dose on the blood thinning. But that's people who have heart attack or stroke or on heavy duty blood thinning medication, as I said, like heparin and Coumadin, they need to consult with their physician. But overall, it's very safe. And we just so that sodium, if you have high blood pressure, you want to watch your electrolytes, because you don't want to put too much sodium in your body. With any other electrolyte products, you want to make sure that your sodium level, if you have high blood pressure, doesn't go too high, because that's not helpful.
Yeah, so we recommend only, like, for those people, only 3 a day. 3 packets a day. And then pregnant women, we normally do not recommend, because, since you have a baby or if you breastfeed, we don't just want them to take
because
it.
enzymes can also sometimes help break the protein in the milk. So when the mom is breastfeeding the baby infant, you don't want the protein to break down.
I see. Okay. Well, this was great. I love taking the product. In one bag goes a long way, because there's how many packets in each bag?
We have a 10 count and 30 count on Amazon and on our website, balaenzyme.com. And if you go on my website, I wrote a lot of blogs, scientific blogs. People are interested to learn more, they can go to a blog section. I wrote those blogs. They talk about the science behind the brand, the technology of amino acid transport, and all the ingredients, enzymes, so they can learn more if they want to know about the background of the brand. But again, we have a Instagram post. You can follow us and get tuned, because we have a lot of formulation coming up around plant-based enzymes. We're coming up with immunity and a few other innovation that is only around plant-based enzymes. There's no sugar, no caffeine. We're focusing on health, brain health, that is coming from plant-based formulation. That's going to around helping the brain be more focused. So it's really unique. We're working with biochemists and team of scientists to bring out new innovation in around being plant-based enzymes. That there's nothing currently on the market like it.
Excellent. Well, there you have it. BalaEnzyme.com. I'll definitely put a link in the show notes for individuals to go on there and read more about it and order it and give it a try. It's great. You can take it on the go or when you're traveling. And I appreciate both of you coming on and sharing your knowledge regarding this product.
Thank you, Brian, for the opportunity. We enjoy your podcast. Thank you again for meeting with us and listening to our story.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. I understand there are millions of other podcasts out there, and you've chosen to listen to mine, and I appreciate that. Check out the show notes at briangrin.com for everything that was mentioned in this episode. Feel free to subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend or family member that's looking to get their body back to what it once was. Thanks again, and have a great day.